calendar, but the one makeup day would be Monday the 21st. If you miss 6. So you'd actually be using both rules that apply to snow days, either having built in or actually literally showing makeup days. After looking at this, I'm not, what's that?
Yeah. Yeah, you said the 25th. I was just.
And ending on the 18th, but showing the 21st as a makeup day if you had missed the 6th day. On an average over the course of the last 10 years, according to Tim, it's basically been 3.6 days on the average over the last 10 years of number of days missed. So we're still well within our average to reduce that to 5. But the day has to be a work day to maintain the 181.
So teachers would have to come in that Monday if it wasn't a makeup day, which is, we come in the day after.
That's why I prefer to almost go to 2, end on Thursday, work day Friday.
Explain how that would work for you.
In school on Thursday, work day Friday.
How does that affect?
That way you wouldn't have to come
Snow
back
days,
in.
how many snow days? Oh,
It'd be
2.
4 built in, 2 additional as a makeup.
Okay.
Right.
That'll change your total number of teacher days.
Yeah, you'd have to add 2 teacher days somewhere.
180, it's still maintained as 181 whether they're student days or work days.
The 18th
Right,
and
you'd
the
have to add 2
21st.
more work days
He's
somewhere.
saying that the 18th and the 21st is teacher days. That's your 2
Well,
days.
okay, you'd have to back it up
Kids
to
wanna
Wednesday
For 2 days?
for 2 days.
No,
2
you're
days
still
will
on
be
the rest
Friday
too.
and Monday.
You're coming in either way under this calendar, either way on that Monday.
So we're gonna lose 2 student days, is what you're
You
saying?
basically lose 2 student days. You could lose 2 student days no matter what.
Right, with snow
With
days,
snow days.
right. Those would be considered makeup days, which is allowed. Yeah,
Can we have a minute to caucus?
yeah. All right, what we were looking at was, go ahead and make Friday the last day of school. Cut it off even. Monday be the last day for teachers. Now, as a give back, a few years ago, we had our day extended with no compensation. And it would be to make up for that time that was added to our teacher days, on average 20 to 30 minutes a day. Give back some of that time that was taken from us before.
No matter, you understand, no matter what we do, we have to have 181 teacher contract days.
Why, can I ask?
I'll defer to Wes.
That's what our contracts are currently. It
But-
would have to be, to lower the days, we'd have to change the compensation.
Why? Our day was extended and we weren't given extra compensation.
Would you consider that as compensation if we drop the number of days?
We're not.
When you come to salary negotiations?
Well, if you're gonna pay at the same rate, I mean, it's never pulled out of the year, anyway, because last year we negotiated 180. Now all of a sudden it's 181. And we never did negotiate on time of day. How long was a contracted day? So for years, we had a set day and all of a sudden they added between 20 and 30 minutes a day and there was no compensation for that.
I'd have to look at that policy on when that was updated, because that is in policy on the,
Correct.
when you have to arrive at school, when you can leave at school.
And they added minutes to the student day, which therefore pushed our time back, is what it did. When they added to the minutes of the instructional day in order to put us back under the minutes of instruction, as opposed to days, they added minutes to the day for the students, which automatically by policy pushed our day back with no compensation.
Go back real quick to parent-teacher conferences. Can you get parent-teacher conferences done in one evening?
No,
Can you get parent-teachers conference done in an early out in one evening?
no, I don't think so.
Must be a long early, we used to do it, it was a long early out. About an 8-hour day, 8-hour early out.
Are you talking about an evening and an early out and an evening, or just one straight through?
At 1 o'clock in an evening, 1 8 hours straight through.
Well, the downside of that is if a parent is working and that falls on their shift, they cannot attend that conference. And I think what we
I'm
have,
just asking.
no, I don't think so. It wouldn't be fair to the parents.
Okay.
If you're gonna,
I defer to
if
Alyssa.
you're gonna do something like that, it needs to be one early out and an entire day to hit all the shifts. So the kids would be out on Thursday and a Friday, and we would work a long day on Thursday. That way we could hit all the shifts and have enough time to hit all the students in those classrooms that have 26 and 27 in them. Because if you, even the way we have it set up now, we don't have enough spots. I know it's an elementary thing, but we are required to conference with every parent.
Okay.
So
If you give me a chance to look at this further, to basically propose a calendar ending on Friday, I can see your point on dropping the 181 to 180. Wes, would that be just, whatever you're after is what you'd have to enter in e-finance?
Correct.
And then you just have to know
Just make
that
it
up
work.
front.
You just have to make it work, yeah.
Okay. But that could be done. Is that fair?
Yes,
I
that's
think
fine.
so, yeah.
Yes.
How soon do you think you could have this done? I mean, before we go back to United? And
When's your next St. Joe United meeting?
17th.
ideally, we would discuss it there.
If we could meet again next week, I think ideally that would be what I'd like to suggest.
It'd have to be Monday or Tuesday next week.
Can't do it Monday or Tuesday.
I can't do it Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. Is Lori gonna be?
She'll be here, I don't know if she's.
She just had surgery. Our alternate just had surgery, so that's.
Can we do it Friday? We have PD on Friday.
Next Friday? No.
The 4th.
Can't do it Friday either.
No,
This
that's
Friday?
all right.
Friday's a PD day.
This Friday, this Friday.
This
What about
next
this
Friday.
Friday?
Next Friday.
What about the 4th?
Could you do it this week?
I could do it Friday if we didn't run super long. I have another meeting at night,
I
but
can do it Friday this week. It's better this week than next week for sure.
if it was like if it was at like 4:15 again, I could probably swing.
Hold on, let me look at my calendar. Throwing things at my mouth.
How about Thursday, Alyssa?
I can't, we have our school-wide
Oh,
math
gotcha.
night is this week.
Friday would work for me.
Friday. Friday.
I could do it Friday 4:15.
I could do Friday, 4:15.
All right.
Friday at 4.
You all right, Eric?
This Friday?
Tammy can.
Friday, 4:15.
I could, well, I can make it work. I'll make it work.
Are you sure?
I have no idea.
Works for me.
Friday at 4:15?
Oh, no, it doesn't work for me. I'll be at the Mossberg
I
conference.
can get Don into the
Yeah.
subject. That just, yeah.
Everybody has alternates.
Friday at 4:15,
Yes.
that's the 4th, 3rd,
The 4th.
4th?
I'm not here though, you will be here.
So that, at that point, we're going to be looking at the last day of school,
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
What about parent-teacher conferences? Are you going to look into
I-
doing a
Yeah,
half
I
day, a
think we
full
can
day
probably
off?
get an answer from particularly building administrators by then.
Okay.
Okay?
What do you
For a
think
half day and a
about,
full?
I was gonna say, what do you think about the idea of doing like a 4 to 7 the first night and then doing that?
Or something like that.
Yes,
yeah.
where the kids, like say we did 4 to 7 on a Wednesday, the kids didn't come on Thursday at all and we had that first part of the day for work time or
plan.
PD, whatever, and then we started conferences from 1 to 7 again. So it's,
What was that?
what do you, kind
Kids
of,
wouldn't come Thursday or
so
Friday.
say we had conferences Wednesday evening from 4 to 7.
Okay.
And then Thursday, the kids didn't come to school at all. We would come. The first part of the day would be work time, plan time, whatever, PD, whatever it was decided to be. And then our conferences could start at 1 that second day all the way through 7.
Huh.
We still have earned the time
Sure.
for Friday. The
We get all the
kids,
shifts.
Right.
I think it would help district-wide, the movement. Like if you needed to go to your child's at another
So
school.
basically, you got two different proposals there. You got the 2-week window one, because I don't see, if do the
Oh, no,
second-
that wouldn't work on a 2-week
you'd have to
window.
definitely do a.
No, that'd be
Yeah,
set.
It would be
Right.
set, but you
Set.
have a wider, I don't know.
Just off the cuff, which is your first preference? The
As a-
flexibility with a 2-week window, or they,
As an elementary teacher, and this has been discussed for a couple of years, as elementary, we would rather have the entire day, that Thursday off with kids, and that way we could plan our conferences accordingly.
I think-
From what I've heard of the
would
teachers who
agree
have
with
brought it
that.
up and the people I've approached with that option or have approached me.
I would agree.
And I think secondary is exactly, secondary would be a split, because it would be beneficial for athletics and all the after-school activities to have the 2-week window. So there's one of those splits that you're gonna see that's, I hate to say it, but I mean, would there be a problem with doing a different system for the two?
For secondary.
I know it gets complicated
Yeah,
at
it
the same
would, yeah.
time.
Because you'd have kids going to school and we didn't,
Yeah.
unless you did all day PD.
Well, if it was Wednesday, there aren't athletic events on Wednesday anyway, correct? Typically. So then you're really just, there
Every
are,
night.
or no?
Every
well,
night.
you run into typically districts or state that week.
Well, I would say talk to your administrators and see what would work for them, and then kind of, that would be the,
Let
And
let me
that's
check
not-
and I'll try to get back.
right,
That's not a deal breaker though.
okay.
Okay, anything else under student calendar?
Do we know what the PD,
Yes. Yes, I defer to you.
do we know the January, is that going, we've requested that to be half PD, half workday on the 8th of January. Just coming in from a long break. Be nice to get some time.
We'd like to get the most PD as we can. Really, you also know you're getting an additional day at Christmas.
Hmm?
And I don't know
Well, we
if
moved one over to first quarter.
well, it's still 11 days off of Christmas instead of 10. Would you be willing to move a PD day to the start of the school year?
There was a reason we didn't want to do that.
No.
It didn't balance or something.
Well, and it gave people, we were trying to think for everyone, it kind of gives them,
Or make the 22nd a PD day?
thought we were trying to take away that day as a win for our staff. The 22nd of May, that's what you're talking about, correct?
Yeah, PD after school, I mean, you just mean it work days, but you'd actually mean,
That's not PD.
yeah. Couldn't be a work day after school, now,
Well, if we did
or PD day.
the conference thing where you have the long day, could the half day, the first part of the day be PD? There's a half day of PD you've gained right there.
And that's a full day in first quarter and second quarter? Or second quarter and,
Yeah, so if you did the half day of PD, that day of conferences, if we were gonna do that option of the kids didn't come at all on Thursday, and we were gonna do we could do the first part of the day PD and start
And give me
conferences
a
at 1.
student day then on the 22nd.
Thought we were taking away the 22nd as a win, that's what,
Which 22nd
of May.
of May? But we might be ending on the 18th.
But we put the 18th back on, we said we were willing to have that, because you wanted to.
You guys are asking a lot, and what you don't realize, you're giving a lot.
I just asked if that
I know.
could be a PD workday,
I know,
that
but
wasn't
I'm not getting
changing.
anything back here to help.
Then just leave it as PD day.
See what I'm saying?
which are,
Right.
Well, you're getting opportunity with parents. I mean, that's what we're really trying to get at with our conferences, is we want to give the public.
I get the
opportunity.
conferences.
Right.
But we're working on a tight schedule with 4 days at the start of school at PD.
that's what it was scheduled when we were at SJSD United from the get-go. We didn't take one away, it was 4 from the get-go.
Well, we had 5 2 years ago, we went to 4. To get, however last year's calendar.
We had a convocation day that we took off.
How
That's what
many
we want.
hours do we have to have for PD?
I think what is it, 30 hours in a given year that you have to post or are required to submit to DESI.
We have more than that.
I mean, that not only includes here, but whatever you pick up on your own. I'll take this and consider it and bring it back and try to get an answer from administrators. But I do want you to know that you're getting 11 days at Christmas. And that's always not going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And if anything, I'd like to go on record for that, depending on how Christmas falls in any given year, that's always.
Well, I know this is historical, Dr. Newhart, but in the past, we actually had vacation days built into the Christmas break. And we've got some records on that.
Not nine-month people did not.
We did. They actually built those days in, and where our contracts.
I'm not following.
I know. We'll have to show you the documentation on it, but we've got some records that demonstrate that in the past, even our 9-month employees had days built in. There were 2 a year that were built in as what we would call.
Veterans Day was one of them.
Right.
Was called what?
Veterans Day was one of them.
Right.
It was either that or President's Day, I can't remember which one it was.
And they were
Yeah.
built in
One in
as.
As paid days off for certified staff. And so when we hit the wall, and that was under Dr. Zerwanka, not only did we lose some of these perks, but we also lost, we added our school day, which added between 6.5 days for grade school teachers to 7.5 for secondary teachers, and then we also lost those 2 days that were paid to us for days off. We can share with that.
Did you have more than 180 day, 181 day workday?
No.
What was your total workday?
The workday, I believe, was
Or
180.
total work year?
I
It
defer
was
to Terry.
180, but the time added up beyond. So the days stayed the same, but the addition of the time, when you add the actual minutes of that time, that creates those extra days.
I tell you, we lose, by giving a paid day off at Veterans Day, though, you lose the educational value of Veterans Day. You really do, guys.
Well, and I
agree.
don't think he's asking for that.
Right.
But you're basically what you're wanting to make up, though, at Christmas for losing that.
Well, see, we're just trying to let you understand that you're not losing something here. We've lost and lost and lost. And now what we're seeing this as certificated staff is that we were on to recoup some of those losses that we have, that have been thrown upon us over the years, because these decisions were just made for us. And we really had no option on this. And so it may seem like as administratively you're losing, but on the other side of the ball here, we've lost and lost and lost and lost. And it's been hard on staff morale. And now we want to try to either regain some of those losses that we've lost in the past, or at least come to an understanding that those losses were wrong, and here's what the steps we're going to take to fix those losses.
I don't have it, I mean, it all depends, in my opinion, on how Christmas falls.
Right.
Okay, and when it is on I want to say.
Wednesday.
Yeah. It's on a Sunday in this case.
Yeah.
I guess don't always expect having that 11th day.
Right.
I don't think anybody expects that. We were all.
We know it changes.
Right. We were all, I think, happy and thankful sitting at SJSD United. Oh, this would be really nice. I mean, everyone was like, well, that would be such a morale. Like, everyone would really enjoy that. And
Now, I did receive some feedback that the days after, they'd rather see the days prior, because you tend to be fiddling your thumbs after New Year's versus beforehand, you're hustling to
that's
to
true.
give you days and time to get ready for Christmas.
That had to do with semester break.
something else we did discuss at United, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure that we ever came to a concrete decision, but was that the end of the semester in December, the 22nd should be an early out as well as the last day of school.
22nd is.
It'd be the 21st.
I'm sorry, yes, that's what I meant. The 21st of December would be an early out as well as the last day
It
of
was
school.
my understanding, talking to Dr. Kraus, that would be the case.
Okay, just to make sure that that's documented on
That
here.
would be through lunch, 1 PM or whatever it is.
Yeah. We just wanted to make sure it was documented that that's.
Okay, if I can go back and recap here. We're gonna meet on the 4th, this coming Friday at 4:15. I wanted to get the answers to parent-teacher conferences that concern the 2-week window format to be the week before and the week currently of what we have with the day off. And then the second option, no kids Thursday or Friday, but Wednesday you go 4 to 7, Thursday would be 1 to 7, and the day off Friday.
We
Okay.
do like PDO.
Then the question on 180-day work year, 181-day versus the end of school, trying to get that on, happening on Thursday or Friday. Is there anything else I'm missing? The PD day on the 8th, I've got
Yeah,
that,
yes, split it,
of January.
if possible.
I think we had talked about that being PD or work. right?
Or half and half.
Yeah.
We had talked about it, and now that we reached a consensus on that, it was discussed, but that might be a half and half.
I think through the teachers you reached a consensus, but I'm not sure administrators really gave us a feedback on that.
I think that we were going to talk about it later.
So Eric, what do you have to say? Go ahead.
About,
I mean, what are your impressions in general?
in regards to which part of it?
Yeah, any comments? Okay.
Any other issues?
We just have stuff for superintendent dialogue when we're ready for that.
Well, I gotta jump down here and work
Oh,
that
just
calendar.
Wonder.
Sorry.
Okay, on the workday calendar, the first thing is I need a heading correction. I just want to point this out as we change revisions here. It needs to read October 17 instead of 16. Also, want to clarify, which is, haven't really talked to Wes on how to do this, but next year, apparently, that November 22nd, that Wednesday, will be a paid day off in order to get to 260 days, just on how the calendar falls. So that goes against what is written in policy. Okay, in order to stick and keep a 260-day work calendar for 12-month employees, that's got to become a paid day off, or currently it's an unpaid day off.
November 22nd, is that right?
Correct, that Wednesday. Language change there at the top really doesn't even apply based on 10 days off of Christmas calendar. Correct, Dr. Kraus?
Yeah.
That's what it is in red.
So you're saying it shouldn't be there?
Shouldn't be there. Graduation date change as well on here to the 20th. And then really the only other thing is the summer work week that I'm not opposed to, as long as we're putting in the hours to be paid. And see, beforehand, they weren't, okay? They were actually getting like 1.5 and 2 hours of pay, but not working for.
So let me ask you this, on the 40-hour work week, in our district, is the lunch hour considered part of the work day? Or is it a 8.5-hour day?
It would be a 10.5-hour day.
Okay, and so
If we
it'd be a
go
10.5-hour day.
It's
Now,
an
if you're on
8.5
it,
now.
it's an 8.5 now, so it's gonna be a 10.5 coming up. And then with a 2-hour, 10-minute break per every 2-hour gap, I mean, that's okay too.
It would be, follow the,
Yeah, that's, we always had a 10-minute break every 2
Federal
hours,
guidelines on
right,
that.
right, okay. So you're looking at the 30 minutes of break time per day. That's federal, like 2 hours 10 minutes every 2 hours, and then you would also have, the 30-minute would be unpaid lunch. And so you're looking at a 10.5-hour day, 4 days a week.
basically, yes, except for holiday weeks. Because federally, you're only going to get paid for 8-hour days for holidays. So in the week of July 3rd, for instance, we're giving you paid days off on the 3rd and 4th for 12-month employees. So to make up 24 hours, you're gonna have to work 3 8s
Right,
or 2 12s.
right.
And I'd rather get this set in writing
I agree.
on what that week is going to look like. And then the other one would be May 15 or May of 18, where Memorial Day falls. And really, I prefer in this starting either in June and July instead of starting after school's out, the way it used to.
I thought it started in June.
So let me see if I'm understanding what you're saying. Instead of doing these 12-hour days and that, you're gonna add that time in, say maybe work 10-hour, 11-hour days then, and then it's gonna accumulate into that week of, first week of July, or what are we saying here?
Well, basically, I would like to see it commence actually June 4th,
Okay,
okay? To where if we commenced it at, or commence it, I could live with commencing it after Memorial Day,
okay.
but that week would have to be spelled out. You have 1 8 hours, so it'd be 32 hours that you'd have to pay to get your 40 in, okay? You're gonna have to work 4 9s, is that right? 4 8s, or
3 10 and 2/3.
3 10.
I would just say start at the
3/11.
4th at that point.
You would almost wanna go to minutes at that point, I mean, that was.
Yeah,
Well-
really, this is sounding more and more difficult, and it really isn't. We would just say the week of July 3rd through the 7th, they would work 8-hour days on the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And the week of May 28th through June 1st, they would work 8-hour
That's the
days.
simplest solution.
Yeah.
8-hour days, Tuesday
I
to
think-
Friday, done.
Okay,
2 weeks out of 52, we make those 2 exceptions,
Okay.
and the rest of the time, June and July.
Now, some-
I've talked extensively with
okay.
12 months.
I was down just today talking to some people,
Okay,
and they don't necessarily view it that way though, Tammy.
View it like what?
What we just mentioned, that is the simplest solution, but that's not necessarily what they envision.
and that's definitely something we'd wanna get back with the support on, for sure.
I
That's-
prefer to be those weeks of holidays, 3 8s, 4 8s,
And if we're giving
on 40
them,
hours.
Okay.
and if we're giving them the other days where they are going 4 10s, I think they'll agree with it, but we do need to take it back to our,
Well, and I have another question, is, and that some of our, we're all on 9-month contracts, but some of our people at Hilliard's and some of those places that are certificated teachers have a really weird setup here where they're treated as, not as certificated employees, but as basically almost on the hourly schedule. And I'd like to take those professionals, because our vocationals are growing so quickly, we need to come up with another whole plan for those people, where they have proper representation when they're on more than a 9-month contract as teachers.
I don't disagree with that. That's another ballgame with your federal
Right.
requirement of receiving Perkins dollars and Pell Grant dollars, of meeting the hours for student credit in not only, I mean, the various programs have different hour requirements. Like a dental hygienist has a different hour requirement than what you maybe have to be as a, something else.
And, you know, our business teachers and our project lead the way teachers, they all get the same thing, Perkins funding. But we have a set procedure and policy that deal with those people. And these people at Hilliard's are caught in this lurch because they're neither regular teachers nor are they 12-month
Well,
employees.
they have not only students, 9-12 kids, but they also have adult ed programs.
Right. And it would be beneficial, very beneficial, because we have to recruit and retain those people. Dental hygienists are so hard to find. And I think it would be a great benefit to our district if we came up with a policy that would actually let them come back under us. Where
We do have this current calendar, though, being reviewed by Hilliard's administration.
Good deal.
One, just to make sure we don't get written up in a federal review.
We would request that we could bring some teachers involved with that review, so maybe they could have some input if we could. We would really appreciate that.
I don't see why not. You're referring to Hilliard's teachers?
Yes,
Yes, of
yes,
course.
please, please, please.
Some of the Hilliard people are 12-month, they get vacation and stuff like all over 12. I just want to clarify.
I know,
That's
it's
true.
weird, it's a strange,
So they do get additional benefits because they are 12-month. I just want to make sure you understood that, Robert, because there are several that are.
some of them came in under the, we have to get your salaries up, so we're going to pretend, I'm just gonna say, we're gonna pretend like you have this longer contract, and we're gonna get your salary up. And then once you came back in, and that's to your benefit, I mean, that's to say good for you, Dr. Duarte, when you said, look, you have this longer contract, we're gonna make you work that contract. When they were hired under the contract, it was, we'll do this so we can get your salaries
And
up.
then you don't work.
Right, and now they're caught in this lurch that you're trying to correct the system, we appreciate that, but they're caught in this lurch of, well, dang, I hired under a whole different plan. And I understand you're trying to clean this county up, but at the same time, they're in a position here.
I'm in agreement on, as long as everybody understands that we'll write that up as 4-day work weeks, but on those holiday weeks, you're working Fridays,
On those 2 weeks,
on those 2 weeks.
right.
And then it won't start until after Memorial Day.
Well, really, that is a Memorial Day week, so it'll start June 4th.
That was, well, correct.
And how we're assessing days for PTO, it's hourly, not daily. I mean, I'm assuming that's how we're doing this. So a 10-hour day doesn't count as a day, as it counts 10 hours and you're counting it,
No,
correct?
That's correct. A vacation day or PTO day,
On a 10-hour day, you're gonna make a lot more money on a PTO day, taking on a 10-hour day as opposed to an 8.
No. A PTO day is still only 8 hours. Whatever your work schedule is, that's what the PTO day is
you
counted at.
Okay.
you would, if you miss a 10-hour day, you have to take a day off, like a vacation day.
So it's 8 plus 2.
It's
It's an
1.25.
1.25.
Okay, gotcha. I'm just trying to make sure that's, okay.
Yeah, and that's how it was applied when I.
No,
came
I
in.
understand. That's the way it would be in business, I understand. Right, okay.
So, yeah, if you take a day off under a 4-day week like that, it's gonna be 1.25 days off.
So with the handling of any type of overtime on a typical 10-hour week, that's 10 hours plus. I mean, we can't back them out and say, hey, we're gonna have you work 12's this first 3 days, and then Friday, we're gonna cut your day. I mean, we have some kind of an agreement on that, right?
It would be on a true week, no holidays, it'd be 4 10s.
Right.
Monday through Thursday.
Okay. And so if an employee gets called in on Tuesday and they work at 12, say the plumbing break, I mean, I would like to understand that we can't cut their hours on Thursday and say. hey,
Correct.
Okay.
That would be
Right.
42 hours for that week, so you get 2 hours of overtime.
Okay, and that's, that would be, that's.
Yeah, from what I know and have dealt with, that's what I've applied, and I believe Wes has as well, since I came in.
Right, so it'd be 43 hours, because the time and a half overtime, you would add an hour, so it'd be 43 hours. I just want to make sure that
It'd be
that's.
Time and a half pay.
Right. I just want to make sure that that would be understood for them on that case, so that they could back them out later in the week, but, okay.
Yeah, it'd be your 4 10s. The district would be shut down on Friday,
Okay.
except for those 2 holiday weeks, okay?
And again, we would like to talk to that,
Yeah.
get some feedback on that, 'cause
Or whatever your if you're at the 37 and a half,
Yeah, it's whatever it calculates out to be.
okay.
so we have some people on 12-month, they're on 37 and a half weeks.
And the comp limit stays the same as it is right now, also comp time, no changes in that policy at all.
Not yet. It's something I would like to address, we haven't got there yet.
Okay, that's a total another.
Okay, gotcha, okay.
Coming outside of county.
here.
that may be a negotiation for the other group, because I'm thinking you're talking maintenance. We're not negotiating that now, we're negotiating
I was thinking,
everyone except maintenance. So that
Right.
conversation
And
needs to
that's
stay
a,
for
that's
a.
another, that's a
Right.
benefit side,
Yeah,
not a
and that needs to
calendar
stay for
side.
another negotiations time.
yeah. Yeah, I think those would be good.
Anything else on the work week, on the 12-month?
There's a small group of secretaries that go into buildings that are empty and just sit because they're lined up with the downtown secretaries.
Are those the
There's like
I'm
4
sorry,
or
what?
5 of them.
those are 220, 21-day people?
The secretaries-
We have three 180s and 3 200s.
So they go in, like, their buildings are empty, but they go in.
No, we're talking about something different.
That's, they're covering the summer school.
Food service.
Secretaries?
And then, yeah, and then, when the high school
And
secretaries,
then
what's the
it
high
was
school
the high
secretary?
school secretary.
High school secretaries are 260, they're there.
Okay. They're full-time.
Some of them are.
Yeah, some of them.
But there were some concerns that they were going in, their buildings were essentially empty, besides maintenance coming in, correct?
Right.
But they line up with the secretaries down here, they're in that same class? Is that what that was?
Well, they were saying, if I understood them correctly, they were saying that there was nothing for them to do.
Right.
Which is hard for me to understand, having been a high school principal, and there was always plenty of stuff to do.
But the principals aren't in there either when they're in there, are they?
The high school principals are all 260.
So maybe we misunderstood that.
Yeah. I remember it was Pam. That was the
Pam
food
was one of them.
She's like an outline.
Pam.
Pam,
At school.
She's a
So
nutrition
she's
service.
Nutrition.
Nutrition Services Secretary.
And records.
There was a couple of them that said they would, like, they were essentially the only person in their building besides maintenance.
That's the 12-month employees they're talking about.
There wasn't very many of them.
Did you say 5, 6?
No, there's more than that.
Can you let us double check that?
Well, and on the secretary note, I had a couple of secretaries mention to me, they having to come in after summer school, they really don't have I mean, at the elementary level especially, when summer school is over, everyone's gone, then they typically have to report a whole week after summer school.
Well, I guess my question would be, do they want paid for days?
I know.
Or do they want-
Again,
if that's
I'm just
the case,
saying.
we'll back them off and have a paid day.
I understand, I'm just the messenger, please
We
don't.
left them with 3 options.
Yeah, the secretaries are kind of taking care of themselves in the fact that we left them with 3 options at the United SJSD, and we really need to hear what they have to say about it
That's
before
great.
we try to negotiate for them. We need to see what they come up with.
Okay.
Yeah, because there were options
Yeah,
that we
so-
gave them and they were gonna
Yeah,
discuss those
3 different,
options.
and it did
But
involve
that's
those.
basically non-12-month people.
Right.
This work calendar is a 12-month
Yes.
work calendar outside of what
I just wasn't sure what those fell under.
Right.
maintenance. are.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
In all honesty, this is a better calendar than what this current year is.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Days here.
Okay?
The one thing I didn't hear, Dr. Newhart, was, and I know this is back up, but I wanted to make a mental note of that real quick, was, is there a possibility of switching the graduation date from the 20th to the 19th? I didn't hear you mention that on
Saturday instead of a Sunday.
Saturday instead of the Sunday.
We can look into it.
Can I say something before we get too far? Have they already ordered graduation stuff? Because a lot of times they do it first thing in the beginning of the year.
No, 17, 18, I don't
This
think
is
so.
what
I hope not, because we had.
Oh, that's right, 17, 18.
This is
I was thinking this year. I'll shut up. They're getting a little optimistic, aren't they, if they're ordering already for next year?
Throwing them years away.
Sorry.
Youth.
That's really something else.
Yeah, delete that out.
Yeah.
Maybe get a feel or survey seniors and parents of seniors. You're talking about breaking the tradition. Now, having said that though, it does help with the ability to potentially go to other graduations. Actually, Princeton, Missouri was on Friday evening. And
Painesville's on Saturday.
And lets people who travel get to spend Saturday night. I never liked that you,
And I agree with surveying them, but I think a tradition thing, you might hear complaints the first year, but then that becomes the tradition. So I agree
Well,
with surveying them,
And
but
that's my question to you, if we're, even though this is for 17, 18, you're still trying to get this calendar determined, if that is doable time frame that maybe that's something we do after we set this calendar and do that for 18, 19.
I think if we're gonna think about switching it, I would see no reason why not to go ahead and do it for 17, 18. You're a secondary teacher, what are you?
If it is your concern that we don't have the time to survey and then find out before we're done with this
I'd like to get a
negotiation.
decision on this calendar by November 21st.
Right.
Just from
I see what you're
from contracts, work, entering, all the things that has to go behind the scenes once the calendar is decided.
Well, it could be a break. I mean, I'll just be honest, we have some traditions. Maybe it'd be good to do break some of our traditions to start on a new footing. I mean, Sunday's about, church. A lot of people, I mean, when you come back from church, getting to the graduations, Sunday's a wide open day. And then you can have people spend the night. I mean, it's
Saturday's a wide-
Saturday's a wide open day. And I mean, we really don't have the issues with, going to church and then got to get to graduation. And it could be a neat trend, neat break that maybe one of those little breaks we're looking for with breaking with the past and moving into the future. I mean, rebranding. Just a thought.
I'll have Bridget maybe get out in front of this and see what we can do by Friday of this week.
Cool.
So maybe the junior parents, because it'll be their senior year next year.
If you can check with the high school administrators and
Yeah.
even staff.
I can do that.
I'd almost start there, because if they scream,
For the following year, Bridget, not this year.
Yeah.
They don't know what it's about.
Get on the right year.
Anything on the work calendar? State track,
Yeah, you need to get
With
state
state track.
stuff,
it's on that side.
Is that Saturday?
yeah.
Oh, Saturday the night?
I think
That's
that's
why
why
a lot of
Saturdays
them
were
are
avoided because of state.
Because of state.
I
State,
realize this.
I know, I was, in the back of my head, I knew it was, but even like FCCLA and not even just sports, but the other activities,
Be
a lot of
section
them
on
are
state
that,
track.
are
Well, that's not
Saturdays.
good then.
I think we need to leave it at Sunday then.
Of course, it's just a few, but.
But so you don't want them to miss out on their graduation, that's kind of
I know.
important.
I think it's best.
And it's over
Leave it at Sunday.
Saturdays, Sundays, you know, they don't have it.
Anything else on the work calendar?
No.
Okay, again, it's a heck of a lot better process than what it was a year ago. So, and I appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate your flexibility.
Yeah. It feels more comfortable being at this table.
You don't throw that.
Hey, I didn't throw anything at you last year,
Just
so.
thought about it.
Well, and I think it helps that we took it to United SJSD first. so.
We would like to request, we get these, like, any documents you're gonna bring to negotiations, if we can have these at least 48 hours before, if not a week before. So we can,
Well, it's the same document that,
just in general, in the future. Like, yeah, this one
Just
we
the
knew,
agenda part.
but there's gonna be things that happen that we would not like
will
be
it'd be
caught
what
surprised.
is coming out of SJSD.
Or your counter, though.
I was gonna say, because we feel like you
You know
knew
what-
exactly what we were bringing, because it had been discussed at SJSD, United SJSD, so we feel like anything that you're gonna be willing to counter back, we should get to see beforehand as well, so that we could have time to have a consensus. We feel like that's only fair. You kind of know our game plan, what we're bringing, we kind of feel like we should get to know your counter plan.
So we're not making decisions on the fly.
Like today's agenda. With some
Yeah,
things
agenda
on
would
that
be
we
good.
didn't know.
Yeah. Just
Well,
preference.
some of these were more housekeeping,
Mhm.
that no matter if you do or not,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to be done.
Well, true, but it's nice to know so that we could.
And that's why I believe we're coming back again
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it
on
is.
Friday or
Right.
two.
Yes, that's correct. Sure.
Okay. Okay,
All good? 5:30 United, our superintendent's hour,
Yeah, I mean, we can roll right into that here unless you want to take a 10-minute
is Dr. Norman and Dr. Williams coming?
break. Just me.
All right.
I thought they were gonna
They had other things tonight.
And this isn't recorded.
Okay.
She winks at the camera.
I appreciate everybody coming.
Yeah, thank you for coming in.